Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Joey Harris, and we are broadcasting from makeshift studios in the shadow of South Central Virginia. Follow the show on Twitter and Blue Sky at Cup of Joe Pod. Email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. If you would like to support the show, you can at paypal.me/cupofjoepod. I am on Cash App and Venmo if you would like to support me that way at the Joey Harris. If you want to send me $1, send me $2, $3, $5, whatever. If you would like to support me that way, you can. And also, as well, don't forget, folks, patreon.com/babykangaroomedia. We've got bonus episodes of the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show where Tyler and I go over some of the shows outside of the WWE Network or shows that we usually wouldn't cover there. We've also got the Joey Harris Super Show. We've got the Green Room where I and a guest before we start the actual show. We'll talk about just whatever. We've got the Book Club Baristas, so much more. Just $5 a month for hours of extra content. And if you use the promo code Joey, you'll get 20% off your first month. So that is just $4 for a month of access. So give us a try. See if you like it. If you don't, no worries at all, but I think you'll like it. And all of that, just $5 a month after that first promo month. I think that you'll really enjoy what we do over there on the Patreon at patreon.com/babykangaroomedia. Today, folks, I'd like to, before we start with our look at WrestleMania 11, which is what we're going to look at today, I wanted to just send out my condolences on the loss of quite a few people. First of all, maybe not a well-known person, was well-known in the comic book world and the sci-fi world, and that is the loss of Peter David, one of my all-time greatest writers for comic book. I am actually about 2/3 of the way through his iconic decade-plus run on The Incredible Hulk. He also did X Factor, so much, Star Trek New Frontier, and all of that. Just very prolific comic book writer and author Peter David, as well as the Duck Commander himself, Phil Robertson, passed away after a battle with Alzheimer's, dementia, and different ailments. He passed away, just a very, very big in that world, and is very big in the Christian world as well. As a wrestling connection for our next person, Rick Derringer passed away, composer for Real American, as well as the Demolition theme songs, and did Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. So our condolences for his family, friends, and fans. And yesterday, as I wrote this one hurt, folks, was coming back and learned that Loretta Swit passed away, and I had planned to go and meet her at a convention in August. So that was really just sad for me. I'm a huge fan of MASH and just her character on there, the evolution of her character from Hot Lips to Margaret, and just everything that she did. She had 10 nominations in 11 seasons. For seasons 2 through 11, she was nominated every season and won twice in 1980, and then I believe again in 82. It's either 82 or 83. But just what a big loss for all of those people to have left us. So our deepest sympathies and condolences, thoughts and prayers to their friends and fans and family on their loss. As I said, today we're looking at WrestleMania 11 from the WWF. WrestleMania 11 was shown on pay-per-view on April the 2nd, 1995 from the Hartford Civic Center in Hartford, Connecticut. There were 16,305 in attendance, and the show did 340,000 North America buys. We start out with our intro and clips of celebrities at past WrestleManias. Special Olympian Kathy Huey sang America the Beautiful. Vince McMahon and Jerry Lawler welcome us to WrestleMania. Our first match starts. The British Bulldog and Lex Luger versus Jacob and Eli Blue with Uncle Zebekiah. Dutch Mantell is Uncle Zeb, and the Blues are the Harris brothers, no relation. They start brawling right away. Faces dominating early. Jacob and the Bulldog start. Bulldog with a delayed vertical suplex for a 2 count. Eli tagged in. He gets clotheslined out. Back in. Bulldog with a side headlock. The Blues double team Bulldog to get him down. Bulldog comes back and gets a cover, but the referee is distracted. The Blues attack Bulldog to keep Bulldog in their corner. Bulldog comes back. The Blues roll out, and the one who gets back in isn't the legal man. Bulldog gets his foot up on a corner charge. Eli misses a second rope elbow drop. When Bulldog moves, Luger tagged in. He hits a knee lift and a clothesline. He hits a power slam. Luger hits a flying forearm, but Eli breaks up the pin attempt. Zeb gets up on the apron to distract Luger while the brothers switch places on the mat. Luger gets a 2 count. Jacob tries for a pile driver, but Luger gets the tag, and Bulldog gets a sunset flip to get the pin. Luger and Bulldog pose after the match. Jim Ross interviews Uncle Zeb. He says that they were hornswoggled. Nick Turturro is in the $1 Million Corporation's dressing room with Jenny McCarthy, but you can't hear him. The mic was off for some reason. WWF Intercontinental Championship match. Jeff Jarrett with the Roadie versus Razor Ramon with the 1, 2, 3 Kid. Flashback to how Jarrett won the IC title. Jarrett and the Roadie out first. The Kid says Razor Ramon is ready and that he's going to take care of the Roadie if Roadie interferes. Ramon and the Kid get a tremendous reaction when they come out. Ramon attacks Jarrett and knocks him out of the ring and then poses as sparklers go off. Ramon with a flurry of offense early and gets some early 2 counts. He clotheslines Jarrett to the outside. Jarrett regroups with the Roadie. Jarrett trips Ramon. Back and forth. Ramon runs Jarrett into the Roadie. Roadie saves Jarrett from getting the Razor's Edge. The Kid stops Jarrett from leaving. Jarrett chokes Ramon on the top rope. Ramon throws Jarrett over the top rope. Jarrett comes back with a neck breaker and a series of drop kicks. Jarrett with a corner whip. Ramon ducks an enziguri. Jarrett with a rear chin lock. Ramon with a backbreaker for a 2 count. Back and forth. Jarrett with a sleeper. Ramon gets out, but Jarrett gets a 2 count. Jarrett goes back to the chin lock. Ramon with a side suplex to break the hold. A double count is going. They get up and punch each other down again. Another double count going. They trade shots. Ramon with a fallaway slam for a 2 count. Kid goes to crotch Jarrett, but Jarrett kicks Kid into a barricade. Ramon misses a bulldog and Jarrett puts the figure 4 on. Ramon is trying to hang on. Roadie grabs Jarrett's arms for leverage. Ramon turns the move over, and Kid grabs his arms for leverage, but gets caught. The referee breaks the hold. Jarrett put on the top rope. Ramon hits a belly-to-back suplex, but Ramon's knee goes out on him. Ramon goes for the Razor's Edge, but the Roadie comes in and clips the leg to cause the disqualification. The Kid comes in and kicks Roadie, but gets double-teamed by Roadie and Jarrett. Officials in to break it up. Jim Ross interviews Jarrett. He says Ramon is nothing, and he is still the champion. Nick Turturro is with Jenny McCarthy. Shawn Michaels comes in, and Turturro asks him where Pamela Anderson is. Michaels says, don't worry about it. King Kong Bundy with Ted DiBiase versus The Undertaker with Paul Bearer. Flashback to how Ted DiBiase got the urn. Bundy and DiBiase out first. Todd Pettengill interviews former Chicago Bear Neil Anderson about the LT match. Undertaker and Paul Bearer receive a great ovation. American League umpire Larry Young is the referee for the match, and I still don't know why that is to this day. Bundy goes to attack Undertaker but misses, and Undertaker attacks immediately. Undertaker does old school, Undertaker with clotheslines, but it takes 3 to knock Bundy down. Undertaker knocked to the outside, but landed on his feet by DiBiase. Undertaker takes the urn from DiBiase. DiBiase waves Kama down. Kama gets the urn and takes off. Kama tells Jim Ross that he's going to melt the urn down and make a chain out of it. Bundy pounding Undertaker down in the corner. Bundy with a knee drop for a 2 count. Bundy with a rear chin lock as Barrow tries to get the crowd into the match. Undertaker gets to his feet. Bundy hits the corner splash. Undertaker gets his boot up on a second splash attempt and then scoop slams Bundy. Undertaker hits a flying choke slam to pin Bundy and go 4-0. Nick Turturro is at Pam Anderson's dressing room. He runs into Steve McMichael and company, who are ready for the $1 Million Corporation. He then runs into Bob Backlund playing chess with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. WWF Tag Team Championship match. The Smoking Guns, Billy and Bart, versus Owen Hart and Yokozuna with Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette. Hart out first and then introduces the returning Yokozuna. Vince McMahon talks to the Guns. They say Yoko is a big surprise, but they plan on remaining champions. Smoking Guns get a good reception when they come out. Yoko waves the Japanese flag. Hart and Billy start. They push each other. They trade blows. Bart tagged in and worked on Owen's arm. Yoko tagged in. Yoko slams Bart, but misses an elbow drop. Owen tagged back in. Owen with a shoulder block. Back and forth. Billy tagged back in. Double Russian leg sweep. Yoko comes in and they drop kick him to the outside. Bart tagged in and he and Billy do a hanging neck breaker on Owen for a 2 count. Owen ran into the corner post for a 2 count. Yoko distracts the referee from counting a Billy cover on Owen. Yoko tagged in and Owen did a drop toe hold for Yoko to leg drop Billy. Billy falls out of the ring. Owen throws Billy back in. Yoko gets a nerve hold on. Billy comes back. Owen hits Yoko with a missile drop kick when Billy moves. Bart tagged in and he takes on Owen and slams Yoko down by his hair. Billy tagged in and Yoko hits him with a belly-to-belly suplex and the bonsai drop. Bart comes in to prevent the pin and Yoko throws him out. Owen tagged in and pins Billy, and we have new World Tag Team Champions. Todd Pettengill talks to Bam Bam Bigelow. They preview what led up to the match between Bigelow and Lawrence Taylor. Bigelow says he isn't worried about anything but himself. He says he has the $1 Million team to watch his back. McMahon and Lawler talk about what Bigelow just said. I Quit match. Bret Hart versus Bob Backlund. Roddy Piper is the special guest referee. Piper gets a great reception when he comes out. Backlund out next, and he gets a chorus of boos. Hart with a tremendous ovation when he comes out. He does his sunglasses presentation. The bell rings and Hart attacks Backlund. He hits a corner whip on Backlund. He goes for the sharpshooter, but Backlund blocks it. Hart batters Backlund on the ropes. Piper gets annoying very quickly with the mic saying, "What do you say?" repeatedly. Hart puts Backlund in the figure 4. Backlund reverses it and they get caught up in the ropes. The German announce team is introduced. Hart works on Backlund's leg. Backlund gets out by hitting Hart. Backlund is working on Hart's arm. I like Roddy Piper, but he is ruining this match. Backlund gets a hammerlock on. Hart gets out, but Backlund gets an armbar on. Hart won't give up. They trade blows. Hart with a backbreaker into the sharpshooter, but Backlund gets to the ropes. Backlund moves on a corner charge and Hart hits the ring post. Backlund goes for the chicken wing. He struggles to get it on. Hart reverses the chicken wing and Piper says Backlund gave up. Thank goodness that is over. Jim Ross interviews Bob Backlund, who says he saw the light. Nick Turturro continues to look for Pamela Anderson and says she is not in the building. Todd Pettengill talks to Diesel. He says he knows Shawn Michaels' game plan, and his plan is to keep his belt. WWF Championship match. Diesel versus Shawn Michaels with Sid. Jonathan Taylor Thomas is introduced as the special guest timekeeper, and Nick Turturro is introduced as the special guest ring announcer. Michaels is out first with Sid and Jenny McCarthy. Diesel comes out to a great ovation and then waves Pamela Anderson out as she accompanies him to ringside. Michaels can't believe it. Diesel backdrops Michaels out of the ring. He then brings Anderson in as fireworks go off. The bell rings and they circle each other. They go at each other hard. Michaels goes to work on Diesel's arm. Diesel throws Michaels across the ring. Michaels is bouncing all over for Diesel. Michaels regroups with Sid. Michaels spits at Diesel and then hits some corner-mounted punches. Back and forth. Diesel with a suplex. Michaels knocked back outside. Sid yells at referee Earl Hebner. Michaels punches Diesel. Diesel drops Michaels on the top rope. Diesel and Michaels clothesline over the top rope, but Michaels skins the cat and then hits Diesel with a crossbody from the top rope to the floor. Michaels then baseball slides Diesel. He misses a second one, but then runs Diesel into a post. Michael then kicks Diesel and hits a splash from the ring apron. Diesel's ribs are hurting. Diesel finally gets back in the ring. Michaels attacks Diesel right away. He beats Diesel down. Michaels with a bulldog to Diesel. Diesel struggles to get to his feet. Michaels hits a back elbow. He batters Diesel as a Let's Go Sean chant actually goes out. Michaels hits a flying elbow drop for a 2 count. Diesel with a backdrop, but he is hurting. Michaels goes for snake eyes, but Michaels pushes Diesel into the ring post and then puts a sleeper on Diesel. Hebner checks the arm, but it doesn't go down 3 times. Diesel slams backward into the ring post to get Michaels off. Diesel with a corner whip and a clothesline. Diesel with a leapfrog body guillotine. He throws Michaels out. Diesel chases Michaels back into the ring. They fight in and out. They trade forearms at ringside. Sid tries to go after Diesel, and Hebner twists his ankle, keeping Sid away. Michaels hits sweet chin music in the ring, but Michaels only gets a 2 count. Sid takes a turnbuckle pad off. Diesel hits a belly-to-back suplex, both men down and a double count going. Michaels rolls over and gets a 2 count. Michaels goes up top, but Diesel catches him and does a sidewalk slam. Michaels catapulted into the corner. Diesel with a series of forearms and a big boot. Diesel hits a sloppy-looking jackknife to get the pin. Sid takes Michaels to the back and tells JR that this isn't over. Diesel invites the celebrities to celebrate with him. Todd Pettengill interviews Shawn Michaels and Sid. Michaels says everyone saw that he was the best and deserves to be champion. Sid says Michaels was robbed. Michaels calls Diesel out for a rematch. Main event. Lawrence Taylor with the All-Pro team versus Bam Bam Bigelow with Ted DiBiase and the $1 Million Corporation. The $1 Million Corporation is King Kong Bundy, Tatanka, IRS, and Nikolai Volkov. The All-Pro team is Ken Norton Jr., Chris Spielman, Ricky Jackson, Carl Banks, Reggie White, and Steve McMichael. Pat Patterson is the referee. The $1 Million Corporation get up on the apron and the pros knock them down. Taylor gets a great reception when he comes out. Patterson goes over the rules. Taylor slaps Bigelow. The bell rings and Taylor hits Bigelow with the clothesline. He then clotheslines Bigelow to the outside. Bigelow regroups with the $1 Million Corporation. Bigelow tries to attack Taylor but gets bulldogged down. Bigelow out to regroup again. Taylor follows and pushes Bigelow. Both groups face off. Bigelow gets Taylor back in and kicks Taylor down. Bigelow with some hard forearms. Bigelow with a slam but misses a headbutt. Bigelow slams Taylor into a corner. Bigelow chokes Taylor on the second rope. Taylor tries to fight back. Bigelow gets a Boston Crab on. Taylor tries to get to the ropes, but Bigelow pulls him away. Taylor does finally get to the ropes. Bigelow puts a leg lock on Taylor. Taylor gets back to the ropes. Taylor fights back with a forearm and a suplex. Bigelow comes back with a series of headbutts. Bigelow with a twisting dive onto Taylor, but he hurts his knee. He gets a 2 count. Taylor with a gut-wrench suplex. Bigelow hits an enziguri. Bigelow gets a series of headbutts. He hits a diving headbutt for a 2 count. Taylor comes back with forearms. He hits a second rope forearm to get the pin. The crowd celebrates. Pro Team and Salt and Pepper come in to celebrate with Taylor. DiBiase berates Bigelow on the way back to the dressing room as they sign off from Hartford. Final thoughts. While this wasn't an all-time WrestleMania, the final 2 matches weren't bad, and you can watch those. You can follow me on Facebook, Threads, and Instagram at The Joey Harris. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or your preferred podcast app. I would really appreciate it. We can also be found on Spotify and YouTube. Just search for The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you for joining me. This is Joey saying so long from the heart of Virginia.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.